everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Jeep Gladiator with the Willys package, and this one's also finished in a cool color called Nacho. That is right, but first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Gladiator. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 17 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 285 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go to the front end of the Willys Gladiator. So first off, notice that you do have the rubber stops there so you can drop the windshield down onto it. We've got our Willys logo here on the side, and then we've got the halogen bulbs here up front, and you can see there on the side where the turn signal is located. And then notice that you've got the fog light right here. The whole front end has been blacked out as part of the package. You've got black tow hooks, and then you've got the black portion there on the bumper. And other than that, that is everything for the front end. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 55mm tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front, and over in the rear. This does also come with rock rails as part of the package, but just look how aggressive these tires are. So you get these cool off-road tires that are part of the package, because it's supposed to be kind of like an off-road variant of the Gladiator. Yes, I know the Gladiator is an off-road vehicle, but this is like an off-road variant on an off-road vehicle. Anyways, there's kind of a look there at the front suspension, or at least what we can see of it. And then notice you got your Jeep Gladiator badge right there. Notice the mirrors are black. This one does have the black plastic top, and there's your full side view. Now let's go over the bed of this Gladiator. So first off, payload capacity is 1,068 pounds. This one doesn't have a liner, but you can get it as an option from the factory, or you can add it after the fact. We've got the LED lights here in the bed. And then due to mention, the tailgate is very light and easy to get into place. Now let's go over the rest of the rear. So first off, towing capacity is right around 6,500 pounds. And then coming here to the lights, you guys can see the taillights. Again, this doesn't have the LEDs. It says four-wheel drive right there, again, as part of the Willys package. Notice you've got your black recovery hook. And if you guys are wondering, the exhaust tip is just hiding out there on the bottom. And then you do have your spare tire underneath there as well. And other than that, here is one last view of the Nacho Gladiator. Now here's the door panel in the rear. So first off, we've got the leather right here, and then you do have the little door handle with the netting just down below. And then here are the seats in the back. So you've got the full cloth seats here. I like the design there on the sides of the seats. And then notice that we've got some cup holders back there. You've got the window controls, that for the power outlet, and then more cup holders. And well, that's everything for the rear. So see ya. Here's the door panel at the front. So again, you've got that same soft touch leather here with the cargo netting just down below. You've got the door handle up here with the mirror adjustments, the door lock and unlock, and there's a quick look at the mirrors. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, full cloth seats. Here you've got the cloth all the way down the center, and then you've got the adjustments right there. And then notice we've got the pedal adjustment down below. We've got a light control just up above with the fog light and then the cargo light. The steering wheel is manually adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop in. Now let's go over the steering wheel here in the Willys Gladiator. So first off, you've got leather all around the steering wheel, and then you've got the darker stitching there on the inside portion. We've got a cruise control on this side. We've got the controls for the center stack and voice command controls on the other side. You do have radio controls on the back. Got your stock there for the turn signal, and then you've got your stock there for the windshield wipers, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here for the Willys, they kind of do an orange outlining for the gauges, which I think looks really good. And then we do have that center screen, which has some different bits of vehicle information. The best is the off-road status, because that's the most important. If you do get a Willys, please at least take it off-road once, but that's all for the center stack. Now here's the infotainment system. If we pop it into reverse, we've got the backup camera that'll pop up, and you do get a zoom in function so that you can zoom right into the receiver hitch. But aside from that, resolution is really good. It does have trajectory lines. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time is great. This does have heated seats and a heated steering wheel, and wait for it, we've got dual zone climate on top of that. And then just like all the other Wranglers and Gladiators, you do have the off-road pages, which gets you different bits of information on off-road information. I said info twice, sorry about that, but that's all for the infotainment system. Bunch of analog controls down here. So you've got your analog controls for the radio, analog climate controls. You've got the analog controls for the heated seats and the heated steering wheel. And then we've got the screen off button here, the off-road cruise control. That's just your recirculate, but I love how it's a Jeep. Stability control, you've got your auto stop start, the mute, all the window controls down here. Got the 12 volts, and then we have our media center right there. You've got your auxiliary buttons, and then here's the shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. It does have a manual shift function. And then you've got your driveline select here. So you've got your 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, your neutral, and then your 4-wheel low. Got the cup holders right here, and you have the key holder in between, and then we've got our e-brake right there, center console, which has 2 layers of storage space within it. And then notice you've got the venting here at the top with the gray trim, and then you've got the glove box here with even more storage. You've got the Jeep grab handle, and that's all. Now, just like all the Wranglers and Gladiators, you do have the Freedom top that you can take off. You don't have to use tools for this part. The back part, you do have to use tools. So if you want to take off the front, you're not a tool. If you want to take off the back, you are a tool. Okay, that's a bad joke. Anyways, I love how you can see the nacho on the inside. So you get your nacho cheese in your interior. But yeah, that's all for the top. Here's our window sticker on the Willys. I'm going to try to stand in front of it so you guys can actually see what it says, but feel free to freeze the frame if you want to read all of the options. I'm trying to keep my reflection on it so you guys can actually see the print, and then I got to come over here. But yeah, there's all of the options. Oh, it's kind of going away. Wait for it. There we go. There's kind of all the options, and then you guys can see the total MSRP. But that all being said, let's take this Willys Gladiator out and see how it drives. Let's go over visibility here in the Willys Gladiator before we set off. So first off, you guys can see that we've got the visibility over the hood and then through both of the mirrors, and then here's throughout the rest of the rear. And I know I'm gonna get the comments, people are gonna say it's called wheelies instead of Willys. Well, you know what, potato, potato, let's set off. We are setting off in the wheelies / Willys Wheeler. I don't care how you say it, I will say it however I like. But let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality setting off. And well, the fuel light popped on. That is like perfect timing for the fuel light to pop on. We're gonna let these people go by right here. But first off, it actually rides pretty smooth. These off-road tires aren't making it ride any rougher than stock. It feels about the same. And actually with having a little bit more sidewall, this might ride slightly smoother than a Gladiator that doesn't have these more aggressive off-road tires. Aside from that, you still get kind of the floating around nature of the Gladiator with the steering and kind of just with the suspension feel. Every single Gladiator, every single Wrangler does that. It's just a characteristic of it. It's not great on-road, but off-road, it comes into play. Now, aside from that, let's kind of see how the turning is here. Good low end torque as well. I mean, it gets up and moves pretty well. You guys know I like this 3.6 liter V6. I feel like it just performs very well as an overall piece. But aside from that, let's talk about the noise here with the Gladiator. So this is a perfect day for me to be reviewing a Gladiator because it's very windy, and these are obviously notorious for having tons of wind noise, but you guys can hear there's a little bit, but it's very minimal compared to older Wranglers. And so it's actually pretty well insulated. And this one doesn't even have the insulation at the top. So if you put the insulation at the top, it would be even better compared to what you normally get with a Gladiator. So that's pretty solid. And we'll see how the brakes are coming up to here. I'll probably freak some people out because I'm gonna stop at last second. Yeah, stopping power is great as well with the Gladiator. So, I mean, so far as an overall piece, it's pretty nice. And one thing I'm noticing is the visibility is really good here with the Gladiator. Something that I forget until I drive it is just how good the visibility is. And that's because of the large square windows all around. And that's a huge benefit to having a boxy design. So we're gonna get our partial acceleration here, and then we'll get our full-blown acceleration up here, and then we'll sum things up. Yeah, good torque. The 8-speed automatic definitely keeps in the power band. It's very smooth with the gear shifts. And I mean, for a mid-sized truck, it's right where it needs to be. If you guys are wondering, right now, we're at about 4,500 feet elevation. And so this will really show how this does at elevation. I mean, it gets up to speed at a pretty good rate. The V6 sounds pretty nice as well. But I mean, it's not crazy fast or anything like that. But it gets the job done. And I mean, it's got more than enough torque for what you're gonna need this for when you are doing any sort of rock crawling or anything like that. But let's get into signing things up with this Willys / Wheelies, whatever you wanna call it, edition. So first off, I love the exterior looks. Now this nacho color, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan, but I can see how this is. Like, obviously Jeeps are notorious for bright colors, and this is a cool bright color. It's just not my cool bright color. Okay. aside from the color on it, the wheels look great, the tires look great. I love the blacked out grille. That's a really cool aesthetic as well. Interior wise, I mean, it looks just like any other Gladiator, which I love the Gladiator interior. I love the Wrangler interior. It's very unique for a vehicle. And the one thing I do like is the fact that the steering wheel is the really soft leather. It's one of the touch points you're gonna be touching all the time, obviously, when you're driving, and it feels very nice. And then aside from that, driving wise, it drives really good. But what would you really use this for? This is the type of Jeep that you get if you're gonna do off-roading here and there, you're gonna do some camping trips, all that kind of stuff, but you're not planning on doing hardcore rock crawling, so you don't need the locking rear and front differential, and then you don't need the sway bar disconnects that the Rubicon has. And so if you're just gonna be doing very light off-roading, and most of this is gonna be street driving you're gonna use this for, then that's where the Willys or Wheelies, whatever you wanna say it, will come into play. And yeah, that's all. And that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2021 Jeep Gladiator Willys edition. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy for giving me some time with this Gladiator. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.